What's up, folks? My name is Victor Cruz, and I'm the founder of the Victor Cruz Acting Studio. Now, this video is dedicated to you and how to begin your career as an actor. Now, I'm going to take the word career, right? Take the word career and I am going to cross that out, and I'm going to call this journey. Because if this is meant for you, if it's truly meant for you, then it's your journey, is what you were meant to do in this life, okay? Now, people always ask me questions like, how do I begin? How do I begin, instead of career, how do I begin my journey as an actor? And this is what I tell them. First off, even before we get into a list of things that you should think about, for some people, you might think that this is what your journey is, or that this is what you want to do in this life. But the reality is that maybe you were not meant to be an actor, but you're attracted to the world of entertainment. Maybe you're attracted to drama. Maybe you're really meant to be a writer or a director or a set designer or a costume designer, somebody in that world, but because you fell in love with it, you're not quite sure where you fit, or maybe you just love it so much, but it's not quite your journey. Maybe there's something else that you're supposed to be doing, but it's okay to explore this feeling of, this is what I think my journey is. Especially when you're younger, you're not sure. You're looking around, you're searching, and there are a lot of people that don't really know what it is that they want to do. So if this is the case, if you feel strongly about this being your journey, then there's a big chance that this is what you actually are supposed to be doing in this life. So I would say, or at least I would encourage you to go out, find an acting class, find an improv class, find a place in which you could try it out to see if it's what you truly want to do. And if it's not you finding an acting class or a place in which you could try it out amongst other actors, hey, why don't you write your own script, film your own movie, film your own short film. There are so many film festivals out there, so many places in which you could put your own material out there, see if you like it. You know, you might say, well, Victor, I'm not a filmmaker, I'm not a writer. Well, try it, see. And sometimes when you wear all those different hats, and trust me, I've worn many a hat, you discover that, oh, you know what, actually, I like to write instead of act. But in this case, if this is truly your journey, okay, I would say go out and find a place in which you could try it out to see if for sure this is what you want to do. Here at the Victor Cruz Acting Studio, we offer classes from beginner acting classes to on-camera classes to private coaching to self-tape audition services. But wherever you are, I'm sure that there's an acting school or program that you can sign up for. And if there isn't, you can always set up a Skype session with us so that we can get things going. Otherwise, all around the world, there's a studio, there's a school, an institution that will support your journey, okay? Now, finding a place in which you could practice your craft or give it a shot for the very first time is an important thing because just like a kid, you know, kids are very impressionable, but so are you. So when you go to find a school or institution or a teacher, you have to find a place that you feel good in. You have to trust, right? Trust how you feel inside. You don't have to take somebody else's word for it. See it for yourself. I have an amazing spiritual teacher who teaches me, don't believe in what I tell you. Believe in what you see. So this message goes right to you where, hey, don't take my word for it, check it out. If you feel good in that environment, if when you meet that teacher, it feels right, right? Another thing that I was taught was that when you're looking for a teacher, the teacher is not necessarily giving you anything that you don't already have. And let me explain what that means. It means that this is your journey. You came down to this earth, whatever you believe, you came down here with it in your DNA. It was just waiting for you to find the connection. So a good teacher is also a good detective, because they can detect where all of your gifts lie, where all the good stuff is, right? They detect it and they help encourage to bring it out, right? That makes a great teacher. It's not about me enforcing methods or styles on you, because no one formula is for everybody. No one style or technique is going to work for everybody. That's why some teachers say, take what works and leave the rest. And that's true, because not everything works for everybody. And that's true in life, right? Not every shoe is going to fit you the way that you like to wear shoes, and not every shirt is going to feel the same way. So you kind of get my point here. You have to find the right environment and the right teacher, someone you feel right. So you got to trust how you feel. It's number one, okay? All right, now that we talked about journey, and just as a warning, I might spell some words wrong on this board, but I'm not gonna judge myself. I'm okay with that. There was a time when I was so worried about what people thought about me and what I would say and how I looked, and I don't know. You spend so much time worrying about what other people have to say, and then you miss out on your journey. So, number one is training. I might have spelled that wrong. I need a dictionary. Training. Training. Ha! I spelled it right. So, number one, training. Okay. Training, again, finding a place that is good for you, that the instructor or the teacher or the coach is a good detective, somebody that's going to help you and guide you towards your journey. So we talked about training. Find a place in which you feel good about. If you have any questions about training, like I said, we offer classes, but there are classes and really good teachers all over. So wherever you are, take a chance on yourself. It's not wasting money, it's investing in you, okay? But of course, only if you're in an environment that is truly gonna support what it is that you do. The next thing you wanna do is you wanna get a headshot. What's a headshot? Headshot is a picture of you. Now, when I first started doing acting, my headshot was black and white. In New York City, we have black and white headshots. At some point in California, they're using colored headshots. And then we changed to headshots in color. A headshot is an image of you that best represents who and what you are. So when it comes to a headshot, you want it to represent who you are. You don't want to have too much makeup. You don't want to have a hairstyle that doesn't quite represent who you are on a daily basis. You should be able to walk into a room with a headshot. They should be able to look at the headshot and look at you and go, that's the same exact person, okay? Now you might be asking me, well, Victor, where do I go to find somebody to do headshots? Well, I'm almost sure that anywhere you are, there are groups of photographers or photographers not too far, or maybe they're a little far, but if you just Google photographers in your neighborhood that specialize in headshots, you could begin to compare the work, pricing, whatever you can afford. And hey, look, if you don't have the money at first to pay for headshots, and maybe headshots can be a little expensive where you are, you can go to a studio that's in the community that just takes family portraits or portraits of one person. You could do one of those to get started. Or maybe you have a friend in school or a neighbor who does photography as a hobby. As long as they can capture you for who and what you are, that at least will be the beginnings of you to get going. This way, this is not the thing that holds you back, right? You've got the training. Now you've got a headshot, which is considered your calling card. It was always our calling card. Today, things are a little different because everything is digital. So using a hard copy of your headshot is being used less and less, though people still request it and still require it, especially in the beginning. When you go out to an audition, This was the rule back in the day. You always want to have at least 2 headshots, 2 copies of your headshots, or 4 in your bag. Anytime you, even if you just left your house, you weren't going to an audition, but you just said, hey, let me, I'm going to a meeting or I'm going to this event, but you never know who you're going to meet. Headshot, right? Now, today, like I said, things are, dealt with more digitally. So sometimes you won't need to bring a headshot because they have it on the computer, they have it on a file. And, more and more people today are trying to be more conscious about the use of paper and things like that. So you might notice that people don't use it, or maybe it's not requested as often, but regardless of that, I'm old fashioned. I say keep a couple of headshots in your bag, especially in the beginning. You never know when you're gonna need it. Trust, there are people that want it, that need it, especially if they're meeting you for the very first time, okay? Now you got a headshot. We're gonna get to the resume in just a second. The resume is important, but check it out. You've gotten the training, and even though you've got the headshot, maybe you're still continuing to train. Remember, you're always learning. You're always learning. You never stop learning, right? I teach classes. I'm a coach. I help people. I guide them, but I still need to learn. I still have my spiritual teacher who teaches me a great deal. I still learn from my colleagues. I learn from experiences. I learn from looking in the mirror and asking a question like, who am I and what's next? What do I need to improve? You're always learning. Okay, I just gave you a list of things, but you're always learning. You got the training, you got the headshot. Before we get to the resume part, you may not have a resume because you just started training. So you have your headshot, and this way you can use your headshot to start submitting it, sending it out to different places. Now, where do you send it to? Once I get a headshot, and this is always the biggest question, where do I begin? We'll erase this for now, but we'll review in a second. Okay, here are 5 different places that you can begin submitting yourself as an actor, okay? Some of you guys may know these, some of you guys may not. If you have other suggestions, please do not keep that information. Share it in the comments. First one is Actors Access. You can Google that. It'll give you the exact website of where to go. This is a great place to upload your picture to. There'll be some options for resume and things like that. At the moment, you may not have a resume, but let's just say that they do request a resume, that you must submit a resume. A lot of people have a resume. They don't realize they do, but I'll throw this down here on this box on the bottom, just something for you to think about. If in let's say in grade school, you did school plays. Let's say in high school, you did school plays. Let's say in college, you did school plays, you did community theater. Don't feel like that has no value. That actually has lots of value. In the beginning, when I had nothing and I had to put a resume together, what I did was I literally threw in the name of the play that I was in. I put in the name of the character that I played. And guess what? When it came to where the play happened, I didn't put the high school that I went to. I put the name of the theater that we did the production in. And it was kind of cool because I'm not lying. I'm telling you the truth. I was in this play. I was in Guys and Dolls. I played Nathan Detroit. And this was the name of the theater that we were in when it happened. And that is 110% the truth, okay? So you can do that. You can create whatever you have. It doesn't matter if you were in a music video, if you did stand-up comedy, all that stuff you can throw in a resume. Even if it's just one thing that you have, guess what? That one thing is gonna help to tell people that you have some kind of experience to get yourself going. Okay, the next place is casting networks. That's another place in which you can upload your picture And another thing you should know about Actors Access and places like Casting Network is that they list auditions there. And so I think that they have a membership that you can pay where you get like unlimited submissions, or what you can do is you can submit individually, which, you know, they'll charge you a fee individually, but you're probably better off getting a membership where you can submit unlimited, you can upload videos, and there are a lot of other options, but it's something to definitely look into. A lot of people have started here. Believe it or not, a lot of people's careers have started here. There's also a thing called Casting Frontier. Again, if I spell anything wrong, forgive me. There is also Backstage. Backstage was something that I started with. And actually, when I started my career, Backstage was actually a newspaper. We would buy and you would look for the postings, excuse me, the postings of auditions, and you would physically mail your headshot and resume to these folks. Everything now is done digitally, so it's literally a click and whoosh, there it goes. Lastly, universities and colleges that have film programs. You'd be very surprised how fruitful this can be. If you were to walk into a university near where you live, take your headshot and resume or write a letter to every single filmmaking student and say, hey, listen, I know that you're studying here at this particular college. I'm an up-and-coming actor. I would love to be considered for any future projects that are coming up. Or if you need a voice, somebody to just voice, let's say you're developing a script and you need an actor just to help to see how that script can play out. Anything, communicate, connect with these guys, because these folks are the absolute future, I mean, think about when Spike Lee was at NYU, or Martin Scorsese, or Christopher Nolan. Any of these guys were in school and somebody came to them and said, hey, I'm an actor. If you need me, let me know. Be very surprised what can come from that. I mean, and I mean that for real. Don't take any of these things for granted. And maybe the sixth one, which we're adding, I don't even know if you can see this, but the sixth one, the bonus one, is sometimes friends and family might be producing something, or they know somebody that is, and they could also help to submit you. So there are so many different ways in which you can get yourself going that there's really no excuse. It's really just up to you to get things going. Now, if you need help with the resume, you can log on to victorcruzactingstudio.com. We have a page dedicated, it's called Resource. You click on that and there's a free downloadable template for an actor's resume. So feel free to download that and begin the process of filling in the blanks so that you can put yourself out there. All right, so now we've got that. Okay, so I hope that you've jotted that down, or if anything, just go back on the video so you can see it. Okay, so we've covered training. Okay, we've covered headshot. We've covered where to begin. And we've also covered resume. I've given you a resource where you can go. Victor Cruz Acting Studio.com. Okay? That's where you can get the template for the resume. Get yourself going. Once you surround yourself with other actors, you are going to start sharing information. One person is going to lead you through one door, and so on and so on and so on. So this is a great place to begin. Again, this is not the final answer. This is not the ultimate way of doing it, but at least it's the beginnings for you to think about how to get your career going. And like I said earlier, we changed the word career to journey. You can't waste time. Don't waste time. Honor your journey. I'm Victor Cruz with the Victor Cruz Acting Studio, and I'll see you real soon.